हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, प्रणाम। हरे कृष्णा शोभा माता जी, प्रणाम। Can we start with Mangalacharan माता जी?
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी।
हरे कृष्णा
माता जी, I'll take leave now. Hare Krishna.
Okay माता, हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा. So we'll start with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanaatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा. Pranams to all the devotees. Welcome to today's Chaitanya Charitamrita session. So we will start from Madhyalila, text 122, chapter 16. So can devotees read one by one? We can all read together. Is that okay? नौकाते चढ़िया प्रभु हैल नदी पार ज्योत्स्नावती रात्रे चली आइला चतुर्द्वार. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: The Lord then got into a new boat and crossed the river. Walking in the full moonlight, he finally reached the town known as Chaturdwara. Bhuvana Devi, Mataji.
माता जी, हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
Yes, Mataji. Text 123.
Yes, माता जी। रात्रे तारा ही प्राते स्नान कृत्य कैला हेना काले जगन्नाथेरा महाप्रसाद ऐला. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord spent the night there and in the morning took his bath. At that time, remnants of Lord Jagannath's food arrived. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So as we all know, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is attempting to go to Vrindavan for the second time. And as he is moving from place to place, Lord Prataprudra Maharaj has made all the arrangements for the Lord's prasadam. So every day, Jagannath's prasadam would be carried to him, and wherever he was, he would have prasadam of Jagannath there. So this is on the way. First, he reached the town called Chaturdwara in continuation of his journey, and then he spent his night there. Morning, he took his bath, had Jagannath's remnants, and continued. Shobha Mataji, 124.
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी। हरि बोल।
Hare Krishna.
राधार अज्ञाया परीक्षा पादाया धीने धीने बहुत प्रसादा पादाया दिया बहु जाने. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. Following the king's order, the superintendent of the temple sent large quantities of prasadam every day, and it was carried by many persons. Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam Mataji, Hare
Hare Krishna. Text 125. Sindhu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, pranams Mataji. Text 125. Swadhana sahite Prabhu prasad angi kari Uthiya chalila Prabhu bali hari hari. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After accepting the prasadam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stood up and started to go, chanting the holy names Hari Hari. Thank you.
126. Krishnamurti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Ramananda Marda Raja Sri Hari Chandana Swange Seva Kari Chale Eti Na Jana. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Ramananda Raja, Mardar Raja and Sri Harichandra always went with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and rendered various services. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So Ramananda Rai, Mardaraj and Sri Harichandran, they always went along with Mahaprabhu and they made sure all the arrangements were there for the Lord's service. Then next 3 shlokas. Who would like to read? Padmaja Mataji. Okay. Bhuvana Devi Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandat Pranam.
Let her read, Mataji. I will do
Okay.
next, Mataji.
Okay. Yes, Padmaja Mataji. Read.
Prabhu Sange Puri Gosani Sarva Swarupa Damodara Jagadananda Mukunda Govinda Kashishwara Haridasa Thakurara Pandita Vakreshwara Gopinatha Charyara Pandita Damodara Ramai Nandai Ara Bahu Bhakta Gana Pradhana Kahiluna Sabare ki Karaganana Ganana. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Paramananda Puri Goswami, Swarupa Damodar, Jagadananda, Mukunda, Govinda, Kashishwara, Haridasa Thakura, Vakreshwara Pandit, Gopinath Acharya, Damodar Pandit, Ramai, Nandai, and many other devotees accompanied the Lord. I have mentioned only the chief devotees. No one can describe the total number. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So many devotees, they were there and many accompanied the Lord. Only the chief devotees' names are mentioned. No one can describe the total number. So many devotees went along with the Lord. Rajya Lakshmi Mataji, 130.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Gadadhara Pandita Yahi Sangita Chalaila Kshetra Sannyasa Na Chadida Prabhu Nischedila. Translation by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. When Gadadhara Pandita started to go with the Lord, he was forbidden to come and was asked not to give up the vow of Kshatriya Sannyasa. Purport: when one takes Kshetra Sannyasa, when one takes Kshetra Sannyasa, he lives his household life and goes to a place of pilgrimage devoted to Lord Vishnu. Such places include Purushottama, Jagannathapuri, Navadvipadvama, and Mathura Dhama. The Kshetra Sannyasi lives in these places alone or with his family. Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakura considered Kshetra Sannyasa to be the preferable Vanaprastha situation in this age of Kali. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya lived in this way and he has been called a Kshetra Sannyasi, that is, a sannyasi living in Jagannatha Puri. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So, as we see, as mentioned here, Gadadhar Pandit was a very close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But after he was little aged, he came to Jagannath Puri and he decided not to leave Jagannath Puri. And he took the vow of Kshetra Sannyas. Kshetra Sannyas means a person stays in a place of pilgrimage and does not leave that place until the end of his life. So as he had taken the vow of not leaving Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forbade him not to come and not to break his vow of Kshetra Sannyas. So next, 131, Gandharvika Mataji. Gandharvika Mataji, Shameshwari Leela Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Shlok 131. Pandita kahe yaha tumi sei nilachala kshetra sannyasa mora yukta rasatala. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When he was requested to return to Jagannath Puri, Gadadhar Pandit, just a moment, Mataji. Gadadhar Pandit told the Lord, wherever you are staying is Jagannath Puri. Let my so-called Kshetra Sannyasa go to hell. Thank you, Mataji.
So this is the love of Gadadhar Pandit. He couldn't stay without the Lord even for a moment. So he is saying that wherever you are, that is the Dham, that is Jagannath Puri. So what is the use of having Kshetra Sannyas and not being with you? So text 132, Sarojini Mataji.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Mata. 132. Prabhu kahe iha kara gopinatha sevana.
Translation shall I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Gadadhar Pandit to remain at Jagannath Puri and engage in Gopinath service, Gadadhar Pandit replied, one renders service to Gopinath a million times simply by seeing your lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
This is the devotion of Gadadhar Pandit. He is so attached to serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he considers serving Gopinath is million times simply just seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. So this is the mood. Text 133, Uma Mataji. Uma Kulkarni Mataji. Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Translation, Mataji, which one?
133. You can say the shloka.
Okay, shloka. Okay.
प्रभु कहे सेवा छाड़ी बे आमाए लागे दोष.
प्रभु का है सेवा छदी बे amaya lage dasa.
इन्हा रही सेवा कर आमार संतोष.
इन्हा रही सेवा करा amara santosha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, if you abandon service, it will be my fault. It is better that you remain here and render the service. That will be my satisfaction. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So even though internally Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy with the mood of Gadadhar Pandit, but externally as a sannyasi and to set an example of how to follow the principles that we have taken the vow. So to teach the world, he said that if you abandon your service, it will be my fault. So it is better that you remain here and render service. That will be my satisfaction. It will please me. Mohan Das Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
134. Hare Krishna.
Pandita kahe saba dosha amara tapara Toma Sangina Laiba Yaiba Yekeshwara. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The Pandita replied, do not worry, all the faults will be on my head. I shall not accompany you, but shall go alone. Hare Krishna.
So this is a transcendental argument going going along between the two exalted personalities. The Pandit, the other Pandit is saying, do not worry, all the fault will be on my head. And I shall accompany you, but I shall go alone, not along with you. He's so keen to not leave the association of Chaitanya. Text 135, Padmaja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Aike thikite yaiba tuma lagi Prajigna seva tayaga dosatara ami bhagi. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. I shall go to see Sachi Mata, but I shall not go for your sake. I shall be responsible for the abandoning of my woe and service to Gopinath. This one, Mataji. Thank you,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji. Thank you. So the other Pandit is saying that I also will go to see Shachimata, but I shall not go for your sake. I will go to see Shachimata. I will not go for you. I shall be responsible for the abandoning of my vow and service to Gopinath. So it will not be your fault at all. I am taking upon my head. Text 136, Sindhu Mataji. Sindhu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Shall I read?
Yes.
136. Etha bhali pandita goshani prataksha lila khataka ashi prabhu tanre sange ana anaila. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus Gadadhar Pandit Goswami travelled alone, but when they all arrived in Kataka, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called him and he went into the Lord's company.
So somehow he travelled to Katak, up to Katak alone. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called him and he went to meet Lord Chaitanya. Swati Mataji, 137.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Panditera Gauranga Prema Bhushanana Ayaya Pratigna Sri Krishna Seva Tadila Trina Praya. Translation from purport by Srila Prabhupada Sripati. No one can understand the loving intimacy between Gadadhara Pandit and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gadadhara Pandit gave up his vow and service to Gopinath just as one gives up a piece of straw. Shall I read purport, Mataji?
Yes, ma'am.
Purport. Just to get Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's association, Gadadhara Pandit gave up his life vow to engage in Gopinath service. This kind of loving affection can be understood only by very confidential devotees. Ordinarily, no one can understand its purport. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thanks.
So we should understand in those days, to follow a vow was like a line on a rock.
அசால்ட்டா இருக்க ஏன் அது எவ்வளவு முக்கியமானது தெரியுமா? அது இல்லாம நம்ம பண்ணவே கூடாது.
எழுதி வாங்கி எல்லாம் வேண்டி இருக்கு. கன்சன் வாங்கியாச்சு. எழுதி வாங்கியிருக்கு.
என்ன எழுதனாலும் இதுதான் சொல்லி முடியும்.
But then when it is coming to the exalted devotees like Gadadhar Pandit, he is not considering what will be the consequence. And Prabhupada writes, Srila Prabhupada writes that this kind of loving affection can be understood only by very confidential devotees. One should not imitate, but neither we can understand their exalted position in what they are behaving. So one should not imitate, but we can understand their deep loving sentiments for each other, that they are that Gadadhar Pandit, who is Srimati Radharani herself, is not able to live even for a moment without the Lord's association. Yeah. Shobha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Tanhara charitre Prabhu antare santosha. Tanhara hate dhari kahi kari pranaya rocha.
Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Gadadhara Pandita's behavior was very pleasing to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart. Nevertheless, the Lord took his hand and spoke to him, displaying the anger of love. Hare Krishna, Dandavatana Mataji, Hari Bol.
Uma Mataji, 139.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। प्रतिज्ञा सेवा छाड़ी बे ये तो मारा उद्देशा से सिद्धा हाइला छाड़ी आइला दूरा देशा। Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. You have abandoned Gopinath's service and broken your oath to live in Puri. All that is now complete because it have come so far. Hare Krishna.
Text 140, Bhuvana Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danda Pranam. Amara Zangira Hita Chaha Vancha Nija Sukha Tomara Duhi Dharma Yaya Amara Haya Dukha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Your wanting to go with me is simply a desire for sense gratification. In this way, you are breaking two religious principles, and because of this, I am very unhappy. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, so Dr. K. Karpagavalli.
Mataji, 1 minute, Mataji. What are the breaking two religious principles? Mataji, can you just...
He has already left Jagannath Puri, that is Kshetra Sannyas, and serving Gopinath.
Okay.
These are the two things. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Fill up on
Dr. Karpagavalli.
Yes, Mataji.
140.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Morasuka Chaha Yadi Ila Chale Chala Amara Sapata Yadi Araki Chubala. Translation by Mataji is scroll up, no? Scroll up. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. If you want my happiness, please return to Nilachala. You will simply condemn me if you say any more about this matter. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes. So now in a little angry mood, the Lord is telling Gadadhar Pandit to return back to Jagannath Puri, to Nilachala. And if you simply condemn me, if you simply remain here, then you will simply condemn me. Right? So the Lord is teaching how to follow our vow. Gandharvika Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat. Etabali Mahaprabhu. Just a moment, Mataji. Screen is freezing. Etabali Mahaprabhu. Nauka te chadila. Murachita hana pandita. Tathai padila. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got into a boat and Gadadhar Pandit immediately fell down unconscious. Thank you, Mataji.
Gadadhar Pandit, just the thought of being away from the Lord could not continue his consciousness, and he just fell down unconscious when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got into the boat. Text 143, Bhuvana Devi Mata.
Mataji, 1 minute, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji. Pandite laya haite sarva bhume agnya dilam bhattacharya kahe uta aiche prabhura leela. Sorry. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to take Gadadhara Pandita with him. The Bhattacharya told Gadadhara Pandita, get up. Such are the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So we see here how another devotee is giving solace to another devotee in the time of separation from the Lord. So this is something very, very applicable to all of us. When a devotee undergoes any problem, other devotees should immediately help him and help him to continue in his service to the Lord. So Bhattacharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya immediately picked up Gadadhar Pandit, and he said, please get up. Such are the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, reminding him that this is another Leela of the Lord. So let us accept that and continue serving him. Gandharvika Mataji, text 144.
Hare
Now,
Krishna.
how he is going to pacify him, let us see that. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Dandavat Pranam. तुम्ही जान कृष्ण निज प्रतिज्ञा छाडीला, भक्त कृपा वशे भीष्मेर प्रतिज्ञा राखीला. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You should know that Lord Krishna himself violated his own promise just to keep the promise of grandfather Bhishma. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mother.
Thank you. So he is reminding the incident from Mahabharata where Lord Krishna himself violated his own promise by lifting the veil to keep the promise of grandfather Bhishma. So here, because Gadadhar Pandit had taken the vow of Kshetra Sannyas, to keep his devotee's vow, the Lord is chastising him. So this is actually the mercy of the Lord. This is what Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is saying. Raja Lakshmi Mataji. This is a shloka from Bhagavatam about Bhishma Parva, the Bhishma Dev's. He is talking to when Lord Krishna, he lifted the veil and he ran to make Bhishma stop killing Arjuna, That is the incident that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is remembering. So this shloka is from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 19th chapter. Yes, Mataji. Rajalakshmi.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Swanigamam apahaya mat pratignam ratham adhikartum avapluto ratastaha dratharate charano bayascha chaladguru harir eva hantum ibham gato tarayaha. Translation by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Intending to make my promise true, Lord Krishna broke his own promise not to take up a weapon at Kurukshetra with his outer garment falling off. Lord Shri Krishna jumped from his chariot, picked up a wheel and came running at me to kill me. Indeed, he rushed at me like a lion going to kill an elephant, and he caused the whole earth to tremble. Purport: Lord Krishna promised not to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra or even take a weapon. But when Bhishma wanted to keep his own promise to break the promise of the Lord immediately got down from the chariot, and to make Bhishma promise true, he picked up a chariot wheel and rushed forward to kill him. This is quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.37. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, Shobha Mataji, 146.
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी। यही माता प्रभु तुम्हारा विचेरा सहिया तुम्हारा पराजित न्यास रक्षा कैलायत यत्न करिया। Translation by Vedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Similarly, tolerating separation from you, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was protected your oaths with great endeavor. Hare Krishna Dandavat.
So only a devotee can see a situation from the Shastra and console another devotee or any other person. So this is how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is consoling and pacifying Gadadhar Pandit, saying that how Bhishma Dev was protected from breaking his vow, the Lord broke his own vow and he picked up a chariot wheel and he ran towards Bhishma Dev. However, similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has protected your vow with great endeavor, tolerating separation from you. So he is saying that even though the Lord also feels separation from you, but he is ready to tolerate that just to keep your vow. Text 147. Dr. Karpudavalli.
Thank you, Mataji. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Ei mata kahita tandre paroboda karila duijana soka kula ila chale aila. In translation by Prabhupada ki jai. In this way, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya revived Gadadhara Pandita. Then both of them, very much grief-stricken, returned to Jagannath Puri, Neelachala. Thank you, Mataji.
So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya somehow revived Gadadhar Pandit from his unconscious state by saying these words, and then both of them, very much grief-stricken, returned to Jagannath Puri, Neelachal. 148, Padmaja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Prabhu lagi dharma karma chade bhakta gana bhakta dharma hani prabhura na haya sahana. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. All the devotees would abandon all kinds of duties for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sake. Yet the Lord did not like the devotees giving up the promised duties. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, Swati Mataji, 149.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Premera vivartat iha sune yei jana achire milaye tandre chaitanya charana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All these are the misgivings of loving affairs. Whoever listens to these incidents gets the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet very soon. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Jai. So these are the misgivings of loving affairs. Means what? Whenever devotees, they have love for the Supreme Lord, they, even though they try to exhibit in certain ways, the Lord does not want them to give up their certain vows. At the same time, the Lord is very happy within due to their loving mood towards Him. So that is how they are the misgivings of loving affairs. And whoever listens to these incidents gets the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet very soon. So we all are very fortunate. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is giving us this boon. Whoever is hearing these narrations will get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet very soon. Hari Bol. So text 150. Bhuvana Devi Mata.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Duyi Raja Patra Yi Prabhu Sange Yaya Yajapura Asi Prabhu Tare Diline Vidhaya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his party arrived at Yajapura, the Lord asked the two government officers who had come with him to return. Purport also, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The place called Yajapura is very well known in Orissa. It is a subdivision of the Cuttack district and it's situated on the southern side of the Vaitharani river. Formerly, great sages performed sacrifices on the northern bank of the Vaitharani river. Consequently, the place is known as the Yajapura, the place where sacrifices are performed. Some people say that this was one of the capital cities of King Yayati and that from the name Yayati Nagara, the name Yajapura has come, as stated in Mahabharata, Vana Parva, chapter 114. Yete Kalinga Kaunteye Yatra Vaitrani Nadi Yatra Yajata Dharmopi Devan Sharanam Yetya Vai Atra Vai Rasayo Nyecha Pura Kritubhir Ijre. According to the Mahabharata, great sages formerly performed sacrifices in this place. There are still many temples of demigods and incarnations there. And there is also a deity of Sri Varaha Deva. This deity is specially important and is visited by many pilgrims. Those who worship the Supreme Lord's energy worship Varahi, Vaishnavi and Indrani, as well as many similar forms of Devi, the internal energy. There are many deities of Lord Shiva and there are many places along the river known as Dashashwamedha Ghat. Sometimes Yajapura is also called Nabhi Gaya or Viraj Kshetra. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So a very holy place where many great sages perform sacrifice, and therefore the name Yajapura has come. So when the Lord reached there, all the devotees, they reached there. The Lord asked the two government officers to return back to Nilachal. 151. Raja Lakshmi Mata. Raja Lakshmi Mataji. Padmaja Mataji.
I'll read, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Sindhu Mataji, please.
151, is it?
Yes, 150.
151. Prabhu Vidhaya Dila Raya Yaya Tandrasane Krishna Kata Ramananda Sane Ratri Dine. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bade farewell to the officers, and Raya Ramananda continued on with the Lord. The Lord talked to Ramananda Raya about Sri Krishna day and night.
So the Lord's journey with Ramananda Rai continued ahead, and he talked about Lord Krishna day and night. 152, Padmaja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Prati grame Raja Ajnaya Raja Britya Gana Navya Grihe Nana Dravye Karaye Sevana. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada. In each and every village, in compliance with the king's order, government officers constructed new houses and filled each of them with stocks of grain. Thus they served the Lord. Thank you, Mataji. Haribi.
We can see the eagerness to serve of King Prataparudra. Under his guidance, government officers constructed new houses everywhere the Lord visited and the devotees visited, and filled each of them with stocks of grain. Thus they served the Lord along with all the devotees who were traveling. Text 153, Shameshwari Leela Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvatana. E mata chali Prabhu Remudaila Taha Haite Ramananda Raye Vidyad Dila. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finally arrived at Remuna, where he bade farewell to Sri Ramananda Rai. Mataji, should I read purport?
Yes, please.
Okay, Mataji. It was stated in the first chapter of Madhyalila, verse 149, that Ramananda Rai was bade farewell from Bhadraka. Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur states that in those days, the place called Remuna also included Bhadraka. Thank you, Mataji.
After Remuna, Ramananda Rai also was bade farewell. He also returned back. So 154, Swati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Bhumi te padila raya nahi ka chetana raya kole kari prabhu karaye karandhana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Ramananda Raya fell to the ground and lost consciousness, Sri Chaitanya Prabhu took him up his lap and began to cry. Hare Krishna Mataji.
The Lord himself is very, very sad that Ramananda Rai had to leave. And although Ramananda Rai fell to the ground and lost consciousness, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very mercifully picked him up and he began to cry. Who is Ramananda Rai in his spiritual form? Does anybody know?
Arjun Mataji.
Vishaka Sakhi Mataji.
Yes, yes. Together he is Vishaka Sakhi and Arjun. Very good. Thank you. Next 155, Swati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Rayera Vidaya Bhavana yaya sahana kahite na pariye tathara varnana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Chaitanya Prabhu, Mahaprabhu's feelings of separation from Brahmaranda Raya were very difficult to describe. Indeed, it is almost intolerable to do so, and therefore I cannot describe them further. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So these are very esoteric feelings of separation between two exalted personalities, and we cannot describe, nor can we understand. But just by hearing them, we will get purified. Text 156, Dr. Karpagavalli.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Tabe udra desa sima Prabhu kali aila tataraja adhikari Prabhu re milila. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finally arrived at the border of the state of Orissa, the government officer came there to meet him. Thank you, Mataji.
Text 157, Raja Lakshmi Mataji. Padmaja Mataji.
Appama. Hare Krishna Mataji. Dina dui chari tenho karila sevana aage kali bare sei kahe vivarnana vivarna. Translation. Vivarana. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. For 2 or 4 days, the government officer served the Lord. He also gave the Lord detailed information of what was ahead. Thank you, Mataji.
So for 2 to 4 days, the government officer served the Lord, and they told further route to the Lord what they were going to go through. Shobha Mataji, 158.
Hare Krishna Dandar Pranam Mataji. Madhyapaya vana rajara age adhikara tare bhaye pade keha nare chali bhara. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He informed the Lord that the territory ahead was ruled by a Muslim governor who was a drunkard. Out of the fear of this king, no one could walk the road freely. Hare Krishna.
Very good. So we should understand those times the travel by foot was not very safe, because there were so many territories, so many forests in between, and many areas were ruled by some Muslim kings, governors who were not very favorable to Hindus. So this is the ahead where they were going to travel was the territory of a Muslim governor who was a drunkard. And out of fear of this king, no one could walk the road freely. So 159, Shameshwari Leela Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. पिछलदा प्रयत्न सब तारा अधिकारा तारा भये नाड़ी केहा आइते नारे पारा. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The jurisdiction of the Muslim government extended up to Pichalada. Due to fear of the Muslims, no one would cross the river. Shall I read the purport, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Okay, purport. During the old days, Pichalada was part of Tamulak and Bengal. Pichalada is located about 14 miles south of Tamaluk. The river Rupanarayana is well known in Tamaluk, and Pichalada was situated on the bank of the Rupanarayana river. Thank you, Mataji.
Prabhupada is giving the geography of the whole area and how this, due to the fear of these Muslims, no one would cross this river, this Rupanarayan river. However, let us see what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. Padmaja Mataji, 160.
Dina kataraha sandhi kari tanrasane tabe sukhe naukate kari begamane. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Maharaja Prathaparudra's government officer further informed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he should stay at the Orissa border for some days so that a peaceful agreement could be negotiated with the Muslim governor. In that way, the Lord would be able to cross the river peacefully in a boat. Haribol Mataji, thank you.
So the government officers had come to inform Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he should stay in the Orissa border for some days so that some peaceful agreement can be negotiated with this Muslim governor, and it will be made sure that the Lord can travel peacefully across the river by boat. 161. Swati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sei kale se yava mera eka anuchara udiya khatake ailakari vishayantara. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. At that time, a follower of the Muslim governor arrived at the Orissa encampment dressed in a disguise. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. At that time, a Muslim governor of this king, who was, a follower of the Muslim governor, came to this Orissa encampment where the Lord was dressed in disguise. Text 162 and 163. प्रभु रसई अद्भुत चरित्र देखिया हिंदू चर कहे से यवन पाशगिया एक सन्यासी आइल जगन्नाथ हईते अनेक सिद्ध पुरुष हय ताहार सहिते. So he was saying, the Muslim spy, he saw that the wonderful characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were so great, and when he returned to the Muslim governor, he told him a mendicant has come from Jagannath Puri with many liberated persons. So he was a spy from the Muslim governor, and he told that governor that this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a mendicant who has come from Jagannath Puri and he has many followers with him. Swati Mataji, 164.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Nirantara kare tabe Krishna Sankirtana tabe hase nache gaya karaye karandana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All the saintly people insistently chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and they all laugh, dance, chant and cry. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So he informed how they all are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and incessantly laughing, dancing, chanting and crying. 165. Shameshwari Leela Mataji.
Shloka 165. लक्ष लोक ऐसे तथा देखी बरे तारे देखी पूर्णरपी येते ना रे घरे. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Many millions and millions of people come to see him, and after they see him, they cannot return home. Thank you, Mataji.
Text 166. Swati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sei sabaloka haya bulera paraya Krishna kahi nache kande gadadadiyaya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All these people become like madmen. They simply chant the holy name of Krishna and dance. Sometimes they even cry and roll on the ground. Hare Krishna Mataji.
This spy is explaining the whole situation to this Muslim governor. Padmaja Mataji, text 167.
Nahi bare kaha nahi dekhi le se jani tanara prabhave tanare Ishvara kari mani. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Actually, these things cannot even be described. One can understand them only by seeing. Considering his influence, I accept him as the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Thank you, Mataji.
So even this Muslim follower is so much influenced because of the darshan of the whole situation, all the devotees and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing, chanting, that he also considered the Lord as none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he accepted him. So, Swati Mataji, text 168.
केता काही तई चरा हरे कृष्ण गया हासे कंदे नाचे गया बोलेरा पाराया. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After saying this, the messenger began to chant the holy names of Hare and Krishna. He also began to laugh and cry, dance and sing exactly like a madman. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So even this person was transformed, his heart was transformed. Shobha Mataji, text 169.
हरे कृष्णा दंड प्रणाम माते. येत शूनी यापनेरा माना फिरी घेला आपना विश्वासा उधिया स्थाने पाथायिला. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When the Muslim governor heard this, his mind changed. He then sent his secretary to the representative of the Orison government. Hare Krishna, Dandat Mataji, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. The text 170, Bhuvana Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Vishwasa Aisha Prabhura Charana Vandilam Krishna Krishna Kahi Preme Vifala Haila. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Muslim secretary came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he offered his respects to the Lord's lotus feet and uttered the holy name of the Lord, Krishna, Krishna. He also was overwhelmed with ecstatic love. Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol.
Padmaja Mataji, 171.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी. धार्याहान उदिया के काहे नमस्कारी तोम स्थाने पथैला म्लेच्छाधिकारी. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. After coming down, the Muslim secretary offered his respect and informed the representative of the Orison government. The Muslim governor has sent me here. Haribol Mata.
172, Dr. Karpagavalli.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Tumi yadi anjana deha yeta ke hi aisa yavana adhikariya Prabhu ki miliya. Thank you, Mataji. In the translation by Prabhupada ki jai. If you agree, the Muslim governor will come here to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then return. Thank you, Mataji.
Text 173, Swati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Bahuta utkanta thandra kariyache vinaya somasane yei sandhi nahi yuddha bhaya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Muslim governor is very eager and he has submitted his petition with great respect. It is a proposal for peace. You need not fear that he will fight. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So this representative from the governor, he is very submissively offering respects and submitting this petition, and it is a proposal for peace. And he's saying you need not fear that he will fight. So 174, Rajya Lakshmi Mataji. Padmaja Mataji.
Yeah. सुनी महापात्रा कहे हन विस्मया मध्यपाय वनेरा चित्ता आइचे के कराया. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Upon hearing this proposal, the representative of the Orison government, the Mahapatra, was very much astonished. He thought, the Muslim governor is drunkard. Who has changed his mind? Very good.
Hare Krishna. Apane Mahaprabhu Tandra Mana Siraila Darshana Smarane Andra Jagat Sarila. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It must be Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself who has changed the Muslims' mind. due to his presence and even due to his remembrance. The whole world is liberated. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mata, please read the purport.
Yes, Mataji. From this, we can understand that since the Muslim governor was a drunkard, Madhyapa, orderly, there would have been no chance that he would change. But Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could return anyone's mind to Krishna consciousness. One can be delivered from material existence simply by remembering Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's holy name or by visiting him. This Krishna conscious movement is being spread throughout the world, but not even one Yavana or Mesha addicted to drinking could have changed and accepted Krishna consciousness without Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace. People are often astonished to see many thousands of Western converted to Vaishnavism. Generally, Vaishnavas are addicted to meat eating, drinking, gambling, and illicit sex. Therefore, their taking of Krishna consciousness is astonishing. In India, especially, there is much astonishment at this. The answer, however, is given here. Dakshana Smarane and Jagat Sarila. This change is made possibly simply by the remembrance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Western devotees are very sincerely chanting the holy names of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. By the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, people are being purified and their consciousness directed from Maya to Krishna. The word Vishwasa refers to a secretary. This title is generally found among the Kayastha caste in the Hindu community. In Bengal, the title Vishwasa is still used by the Kayasthas. The word Vishwasa means faithful, and the Vishwasi is a person in whom one can place faith. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur states that during the Muslim reign in Bengal, there was a secretariat called Vishwasa Khana. The office of Vishwas Khana was a secretariat office in which only the most reliable people were employed. They were elected from Kayastha community or community that is still very expert in managing business of government affairs. The secretariat of Vishwasa Khana is generally a very reliable and faithful servant. Whenever some confidential service was needed, these officers were employed. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So how crucial is this mission that this Vishwasu or very faithful, loyal servant is sent. That means this king is really influenced and very, very humbled by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's presence. And thus we can see his heart is transformed. And Srila Prabhupada very nicely explains how this Krishna consciousness movement, how it is accepted all over the world and how the Westerners are taking up just because of the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, it is very difficult for Westerners to give up meat eating, drinking, gambling, and illicit sex. But how they are accepting and how there is heart transformation due to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy and chanting the sincere holy names of the Lord. So this we can see practically, and we should have this faith that whoever we share this knowledge, share the holy name with, and we try our best to give Krishna consciousness to others. When we have the faith in the process of Krishna consciousness, we will also be able to give this great gift of Krishna consciousness to others, and thus their hearts will also change. So today, being the appearance day of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, we pray at his lotus feet that he will give us the taste for chanting the holy names and may bless us that we may be able to follow this divine Guru Parampara and the instructions of our Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, to carry forward this mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of servant of the servant of the servant. So all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, all the glories to all the wonderful Vaishnavas assembled here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Mataji. Thank
Srila
you, Mataji.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much. Dandat pranams.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Pranams. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Ananta
Hare
Koti.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Ananta Koti
Mataji.
Vaishnava
Thank you.
ki jai. Hare Krishna.